Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation podcast. And for all the censors out there that monitor the community guidelines, we always assure you at the New Health Conversation that everything that we're showing to you, or showing to the audience, as I should say, is backed by peer-reviewed medical studies. They're also in the public domain, meaning they all can go and access. So nothing that we talk about is a claim. There's no false claims. There's no exaggerations, and everything has been proven medically to be safe. That's really an important point. So this is not some outrageous theory. This is backed, and actually the results are published in 10 of the biggest medical studies in the world, just to point that out to everybody. So hello and welcome everybody. What do you think about this 80-year-old grandmother dropping 102 pounds, and she's kept it off now for 3 years? And she's now doing things she couldn't even dream of doing 3 years ago, like playing pickleball for 2 or 3 hours a day, swimming, running, doing things that, see, the problem is we only have so much life force, what I like to call it. And that means you have a certain amount of energy, but your energy is not generated from what you might think. Let's get over one thing right away. She did no calorie counting. This is not a diet. It's not about counting calories, okay? And obviously in the beginning, she couldn't exercise at all. She could barely walk up a flight of stairs when she was 102 pounds lighter. I actually just talked to her a couple days ago, and she gave me permission to use her pictures on my lives because she wanted to share this with everybody. And not only that, she was saying, great, through the grace of God, she's on no drugs at all. Doesn't take any drugs. Now she did before, but she's been able to wean her with the help of her doctor. She's weaned herself off of diets. But what do you all think about that? I'd love for you all to make a comment. I mean, it's hard to believe it's the same woman. No, she hasn't had any facelifts, Botox, nothing. That's all absolutely natural. But look at I mean, it's just unbelievable. She's shrunk. Where did she go? Right? So who would like to ask a question about that? You know, because I've showed lots of pictures of, well, younger people. I mean, some people in their 30s and some people in their 60s and 50s. But when you see someone 80 years old, like she said, you know, I was in a position where I had pretty much given up. Her husband passed away from a long disease, and that's why she got so overweight. And she just said, I just felt like there was nothing. She tried every single diet out there and nothing had ever worked. This is not a diet. Let me introduce myself. My name is Peter Greenlaw. I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I've written, I'm not telling you this to impress you, but I want you to understand I'm not just some guy. I've written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world. I've done 20 shows on public broadcasting, interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America, and did over 1,500 lectures around the world in hospitals and universities and towns. They even flew me to China. And the only reason I'm telling you that is for 22 of my 23 years, all of that academia meant zero in the medical world until about technically 15 months ago. And at that point, this research, what she did is now published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. They call it a miracle. As a matter of fact, she was also featured with her daughter on the cover of Women's World magazine on June 9th of this year. It's a major article, and you can see over 50 protein miracle. Her daughter's 57. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months, and obviously the mom's lost 102 pounds. I think it took her just a little bit over a year, but she's kept it off for 3 years, which is the thing that should impress you. So yeah, I can show you pictures of certainly younger people that have had, you know, great success. But when you've got a lady that's 80 years old that has done this, I don't think jaw-dropping miracle is a big enough adjective. What do all you think? I'd love for anybody to put a comment. What do you think? It's not you can't Photoshop. You can't Photoshop when you get on the cover of Women's World magazine. I mean, they vet all this stuff. This is the cover. You can't this is a news story for them. As a matter of fact, they wrote a big article internally here. I'll show it to you right now. Look, you all can read that new protein miracle diet. There they are. There's the mom and the daughter featured in a 2-page article in the #1 women's magazine in the world. So it's not fake, everybody. This is absolutely real. But I'd love for anybody to comment. What do you think? And we have 86 likes. Come on, let's get some more taps on the screen. I know what all of you are saying. Tell us what they did. All right, I'm going to tell you, but I want to switch for just a moment because, well, no, I'm not going to switch. So what did she do? Because what she did is what all the other people that I want to show you. Let me show you some other people, and then we'll come back to her, okay? So let's start. Now, the reason I like to show you this picture, she only had 30 pounds to lose. She lost 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days with no exercise allowed, counted no calories. This is not about counting calories. That has nothing to do with it. The thing that I think is so impressive about that is with no exercise, and they wore Fitbits where they weren't exercising. Now, why didn't they let them exercise? Because they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. But look at her waist. We'll get into that in a few moments, talking about how much she shrank in her waist. And then this young woman, how about 35 pounds in 37 days? Now, granted, they were a lot younger than 80 years old, right? We understand that. But look at the change in her body composition, everybody. That's without any exercise. These are not photoshopped or altered in any way, okay? Let's just be clear, all right? And then this is the daughter of a friend of mine, 60 pounds in 3 months. That's not a misprint. 60 pounds in 3 months. That's 5 pounds a week. Now, I know most of you are skeptical, and you probably say, this can't be real. He's making it up. It's fake. It's BS. No, it's real. And the reason that I have such great conviction is that this protocol, which produced that result, is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. And we actually created a free website for you to go to see the studies, see the New Health Conversation. There's also an interview, a podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. He and his team invented this. There's no products to buy. It's only food and new ways of eating that they taught these people to create these results. Now, you've also heard, when you get older, it's really hard to 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. That's 30 days, everybody, not 30 weeks. Look at his blood work, his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124. The weight loss is the least important reason to do this, although it will excite all of you, I know. And then let's look at another medical result here on Christopher. 43 pounds, 44 and a half inches in 29 days. But look at some of his triglycerides from 169 to 58. Bad cholesterol, 105 to 68. Look at his blood pressure. It was 133 over 86. It's dropped to 126 over 73. This is a miracle. There's no other way to describe it. It's not hype. You can't hype. Those numbers are real. Those are real numbers. Wow, and she gained 6 inches easy. Wow. I'm not quite sure who you're talking about. You're talking about... Oh, you said 6 inches. You meant 6 pounds. You were talking about... Yeah, actually, she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise allowed. If I fail to say that, I'm telling all of you now. Yeah, so Mom Mill, thanks for correcting me. Wow. Well, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I didn't know she was going to come on, everybody. See the woman in the blue dress? She's on here right now. Maybe all of you can see Cindy Detox. That's her. Wow. I had no idea. You think it's a setup. It's not a setup. But let's come back and now let's talk about her. It's her mom. Hold on. It's her mom. They did this protocol. I'm going to explain it to you now, and then I'll let her comment about how they've been able to keep it off now for 3 years. So what did they do? So the researchers who created this are rated the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, and they've done 100 studies over 40 years looking at every kind of diet out there and came to one conclusion. They never found a diet in 40 years where people lost weight and were able to keep it off long term, okay? So the researchers created a new way of eating. They put together a food list where 30% of what she consumed or you would consume, so take whatever you spent last month on food, but only 30% you're going to spend this month at the grocery store, and you're going to get a list for free of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Now, the food's not free because you got to buy it from the grocery store, obviously, right? But the other 70% of what she consumed did not come primarily from the United States. It came from other researchers who've gone around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but really small quantities of food. Okay? Now, a couple more things. Number one, they invented a new way of eating. and they got a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office for this. Nothing to do with counting calories. I'd love anyone to give me the definition of a calorie, the medical definition. Do any of you actually know what calories are? I didn't 24 years ago. You're all counting calories and you have no idea what. Guess who else doesn't have any idea what a calorie is, everyone? Your body. Your body doesn't count calories, doesn't give a damn about a calorie. It's the most ridiculous thing they've ever come up with. And I'll show you a sort of scathing summary from some of the world experts about they're all abandoning calories in, calories out. So 5 days a week on this protocol, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these, what the researchers have called the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint, with these nutrients from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. That was breakfast. No food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. Now this is until you lose the weight. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Now, it's not fasting. It's not water fasting. It's not time restricted eating. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods or world's most perfect meals. But this time, she ate 8 times a day. She was literally eating every hour and a half to 2 hours. She wasn't hungry. Nobody was hungry. We had diabetics. Nobody saw insulin spikes. In a month's time, this is what they proved. Now, they did blood, stool, urine, fat, muscle, enzymes, massive, massive research on this. What they found, the biggest reason to do this for her, for this lady and everybody else, and me included, is to combat this medical syndrome, which every one of you have, whether you know it or not. And no diet has ever touched this. TDOS, what does it stand for? T is for the toxins, chemicals that we're storing in our fat cells, caused by the lack of nutrition in our food, not allowing our body to get this crap out of us, causing us to be overweight and stressed. Now, you may think you're thin and you get a pass on this. You don't. Everybody's drinking, breathing, eating chemicals, and what the body's doing is taking the chemical and putting it inside of our fat cells. Now, if you're an athlete and you're thin and whatever, it doesn't mean you're still not toxic, because you are. But in the case of someone like this, you can see how much smaller. I think she went from, her daughter could probably tell us, but I think she went from like a 2X, and now I think she's like a 10 or something. It's crazy what's happened to her. At 80 years old, she's 80. She's not 60 or 50 or 40 or 20, right? The other things that happened on this that they measured, proved through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis that this was removing the chemicals from the body, and that's why people are shrinking. Because what happens to you in your lifetime, you're born with a certain number of fat cells, you die with a certain number of fat cells. You don't lose fat on a diet, and you don't lose fat by exercising. No way. So anybody telling you they're burning fat, it's a burning fat diet, run. They don't know what they're talking about, okay? So the other thing that they measured that came down, never seen this before, was inflammation. Now, in case you didn't know, inflammation is the underlying cause of every single disease out there on the planet. And never seen before. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any medical conditions. We're simply sharing with you the medical results that happened to her at 80 years old. And you all can see the medical proof. See right above her head there? Want a free consultation? Just Google the New Health Conversation. That's all you need to do. That website, we will not contact you. The only thing there is the medical proof. Now, if you don't believe in medical proof, then you probably shouldn't take any prescription drugs, because this scrutiny, what are called peer-reviewed human trial studies, is exactly the same study process, scientific methods that they use to determine whether a drug is going to be safe or not. I know they make mistakes sometimes, but it's the highest scrutiny. And I would ask all of you, you're following all these influences, how come they don't have one shred of medical evidence behind what they're telling you? Keto, Mediterranean. I'll show you a breakdown of those diets and you'll see how pitiful they are. Pitiful. I mean, we got people, I mean, here's a summary of what the experts are saying about counting calories. And then I'll actually show you some medical studies to back up what I'm saying, okay? Yeah, look, Cindy's saying incredible results. I know, incredible results. That's her mom she's talking about, everybody. You can see it down there, Cindy Detox. She's talking about her mom, who lost 102 pounds, and she's 80 years old. You show me any other, I don't know, maybe, I'm sure maybe somewhere in the world it exists. But it looks like a different person. Everything, her face, her arms, her neck, her body, everything shrank. And I know she, when I was talking to her a couple of days ago, she said she has more to go. She wants to lose some more. Go for it at 80. Why not, right? But you should be very, very proud of her, Cindy. Cindy, can you comment to the people that are on here, since you and your mom did this? Can you just kind of give us a synopsis about, were you hungry? Was it easy to do? How did you feel? Or anything along those lines, everybody. That's actually this person right here, the superstar on the cover of Women's World in the blue dress. She's commenting for all of you right down there at the bottom. I mean, Cindy, you're a nurse. How real is this? How real is this? Never deprived. So you never felt like you were hungry. You feel amazing, okay? And in all your years in practicing medicine as a nurse, have you ever seen anything like these kind of results? Not just for you and your mom, because I know now you're coaching other people. I know you are. So you can see what she's saying, everybody. Completely sustainable, easy to follow. And Cindy, you and your mom, you basically lost your weight 3 years ago, and you pretty much have kept it off. And it's been, see, this protocol, everybody, I didn't get a chance to explain it to you. It's called R2M, race to maintenance. It's not just that you can lose the weight initially, but we teach you how to keep it off. Well, she's proven it. She's kept it off for 3 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's what should excite all of you. Oh, don't be sorry at all, Salma. We have her daughter in there. Look, so Cindy, so where we're talking, Salma, just so you know, what did I do with it? I had it here somewhere. Am I losing my mind? Mind is a terrible thing to lose. Oh, there it is. Hold on. So, Salma, I'm going to explain to you exactly what they did. So who's commenting down there? See the lady in the blue dress? Look at her results. She lost 50 pounds and 48 inches in 3 months. For her. And her mom, you can see her mom is 80. She lost 102 pounds. This is not a diet. It's not about counting calories. I promise. I'm going to explain it to you in just a moment. But I want to let you know who's commenting. This is Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world. They were on the cover. Their story about their lives. Together they lost 140 pounds. Well, now the mom's actually lost more weight than that. But look at that. Is that just crazy good, Salma? How excited would you be if you could have that kind of a transformation with no exercise? Her mom couldn't even walk up a flight of stairs when she started this 3 years ago. Now she's playing pickleball 3 hours a day and swimming and running. She got at 80 years old, 102 pounds. Salma, what do you think about that? Okay, everybody, let's talk about what she did. Hello, Regina. Hello, Reese. Okay, so let's talk about how this came about. So let me go as quickly as I can because I know how impatient everybody is, right? So first of all, it's not a diet. Secondly, it has nothing to do with counting calories, and I would challenge all of you, what in the world, look, she's saying, Salma, 60 as a nurse is the best protocol I've ever seen in the medical community. Regina, hello, I think it's the Regina that I think it is that we missed you last night. If you couldn't get on, it's because I had a technical glitch. Blame me, okay, if it's the Regina I'm thinking of. Anyway. So what did they do? How in the world did she do this at 80 years of age or 20 years old? I mean, we got other people though. Look at that, Salma. 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days. Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days. Or April, my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months. Well, Cindy lost 56 pounds in 3 months and about 40 inches. She said it. She lost 50 pounds and 48 inches in about 3 months, 3 years ago. She's kept it off for 3 years. So let's go back and look at mom here. Her name's Linda. So the researchers who created this, everybody, it's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. Get that out of your mind. Calories are finished, over, done with. What they did, the researchers, they had done 100 studies on human beings over 40 years and determined no diet ever produced sustainable weight loss, meaning 2/3 of everybody gained more weight than they lost, but every person pretty much went back to the weight they were when they started. So it was a complete waste of time. So they said the fallacy in diets is counting calories is ridiculous. It's crazy because the body can't count calories. The only thing you're alive because of 3 things: air, water, and nutrition. So the researchers said, we're going to do something different. We're not going to let anybody count calories. Instead, we're going to give them serving sizes of specific foods with one criteria. Those foods are going to have high levels of nutrition. That's the #1 criteria. And the researchers put together a list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables that she took to the grocery store. But only 30% of the food she bought the month before she's only going to spend 30% on foods from the grocery store. The other 70% of the money that she would spend, or she spent last month on food, she would go from these researchers. not the ones who created this, because there's no products here. This is food, everybody. It's not some magic elixir that you drink. No, this is food. But the key was these other foods came from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, represented huge amounts of nutrition, but very small quantities of food. So now they had the foods that she was going to ingest. And then they created a whole new eating pattern they called protein pacing. What the heck does that mean? It means that she was having 4 meals a day, 5 days a week. Starting with these exotic foods from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. That was breakfast, no food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. Not 1 meal or 2 meals or 3 meals, that didn't work. It was the 4 meals spread out, and this is until she lost all her weight, right? Then 2 days a week, what she did at 80 years old, or she was 77, I guess, when she started this, because it's been 3 years now. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Now, don't get frightened. It's not fasting. It's not water fasting. It's not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, she ate 8 times a day. Every hour and a half, she was eating. Diabetics on this, no insulin spikes. People that weighed, well, in her case, or other people that had tremendous amounts of weight to lose, they were not hungry. The researchers proved it, because they did blood, stool, urine, fat, muscle analysis, enzymes, a whole battery of tests, and they found that hunger had gone down 41%. I think her daughter could probably comment on that. They went through it. She's on here for everybody, just in case you didn't know. But the other part of it was that they proved through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis that this is a detox. It's not a diet. The reason she shrank so much is because what our body's doing to her and to you and to me and everybody, as we ingest these chemicals in our world that we can't avoid in the water, the air, and the food, the body takes the chemical and stuffs it in our fat cells, and our fat cells expand. The reason you shrink so much on this is because they have the medical proof this is removing chemicals from the body. No other diet is a detox. No other diet is anything other than a scam, counting calories, calories in, calories out, and they're trying to tell you that's the way to lose weight. It's ridiculous, because if it was only based on calories and you wanted to go on a diet and let's say you dropped to 2,000 calories a day, if it only mattered for calories, you got 2 different diets. The 2,000 calories come from lean chicken, broccoli, spinach, things like that. Remember, they're telling you it's only about counting calories. The other 2,000 calories, 3 bags of M&Ms. Do you see how crazy counting calories? The body it doesn't know what a calorie is. Why are we counting calories? So in addition to proving that this was detoxing the body, because they didn't just have people weigh themselves, they had measure. They measured themselves from their neck to their ankles, and they shrank massively like she did. I'll show you some other examples here in just a moment. Also, for the first time in history, inflammation, which plagues every one of you and me, it went down 25% in a month. No one's ever seen. See, the main reason to do this is not to lose weight. That's like number 4 down the list. Number 1 is the detox properties that are proven and published in these 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. This isn't, I'm not making things up. I'm not making a claim. This is in the public domain. You all can go see it. In addition, women lost a whole dress size in a week. Men 2 to 4 inches off their waist. Now, the other key to this, before even the weight loss, is maintenance, is sustainability. Like she's kept it off for 3 years, and she wants to lose even more. Okay, great. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. 23 years. There's nothing like this on the planet. Let me show you some other examples. So this is a younger woman, of course, but she lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days, and she only had 30 pounds to lose. That means 70% of what she wanted to lose was in a month. Have any of you ever seen anything like this? I'd love for you to comment. Anybody comment for me? Ever seen anything like that? Where would it be? And then Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days with no exercise. And then April, my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months, everybody. 60 pounds in 3 months. And I see people jumping off. They're going to go chase keto. None of these diets work. You're chasing fool's gold. Any of you that go back to a traditional diet. You can see it right above your head, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website for you to go and see the medical proof. And then you get a free coach. How much is the coaching, everybody? 0. Why wouldn't you at least go explore for your own benefit to change your lives like these, like an 80-year-old grandma, 102 pounds, and has kept it off for 3 years. Really? Really? With no exercise? Now she exercises. She couldn't, in the beginning, she couldn't even walk up a flight of stairs. That's her story, which she has told the story to a lot of us. So, is this the FGS? FGS. I'm not sure what FGS is, Regina. Are you, Regina, doing R2M, or are you talking about something else? What is, because I don't know what FGS is. You must be a different Regina. I'm sorry. We have a Regina, actually a young woman who needed to gain weight. She couldn't absorb nutrition. That's why this isn't a diet. So explain to me what FGS is. You must be a different Regina. Not that that's bad. I don't want to misquote you. Well, that's a wonderful term. Yes. It's the feel great system. You bet it is. You bet it is. I mean, if you were to ask her what's the main thing that her, the weight is wonderful, she got her life back. Her life had been in a hole for 20 years or more. Now she's like, she said, I'm like a new penny. She said, feel great system, Cindy. FGS, feel great system. So who else would like to ask me a question about this? How did she do it? Whatever. What are the medical results? But in the meantime, let me read to you about the failure of calories in, calories out. This is kind of a brief summary from the researchers, what they're saying, okay? The calories in, calories out model is nothing short of a colossal hoax, a simplistic, outdated myth that's been thoroughly debunked and abandoned by leading experts, including Harvard Medical School physicians, who outright declare it's antiquated and just wrong to count calories for sustainable weight loss, urging a shift to nutrient-rich food quality over futile counting. Decades of rigorous studies expose calories in, calories out core lie. It delivers zero long-term success, with the vast majority of adherents regaining all the lost weight and more. Due to inevitable metabolic slowdowns, hormonal disruptions, and insatiable hunger that sabotages any prolonged deficit, rendering energy balance a biological impossibility for lasting change. The human body flatly rejects this calorie counting farce because it doesn't operate like a mechanical calculator. Instead, it metabolizes based on intricate nutritional signals from the microbiome, insulin responses, and macronutrient profiles, where calories from whole foods like vegetables trigger satiety, efficient energy use, while processed junk calories spike fat storage cravings, proving all calories are emphatically not equal. Perpetually, calories in, calories out isn't just ineffective, it's harmful, trapping millions of cycles of failure and self-blame. Expose the pseudoscience now and embrace biologically backed nutrition first strategies for true enduring health. That's what these researchers did. The only thing they cared about was the nutrient density and the foods that they had putting these people on. That's why it's so effective. That's why it was so effective. That's why so many people benefited from this. And they keep saying the overall health benefits, the overall health benefits. So for any of you that are coming on or seeing this for the first time, I would just really encourage you to, I'll show you how easy it is. If you want to really know more, you go to Google, you type in the New Health Conversation. That's what this is all about, the New Health Conversation. And you'll see it'll take you to the link on Google, and there's the website. And there's nothing to buy there. The only thing there, is the medical proof, including #1 is an exclusive podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. So I'd love for anybody to ask me a question or make a comment. All I can tell you is that all the medical, I'll even give you a more scathing overview here. This is from Medicare, a big study they just published. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. The researchers in Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether any of these diets was an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. So you're all doing diets, you're counting calories, doing keto, paleo, Mediterranean. None of them work, none of them. And when you've got a situation that this young woman only needed to lose 30 pounds, she loses 21.2 pounds and 38 inches in a month. What would you all say about that? Yeah, and let's keep tapping on the screen. We're at 1,800 likes. So who else would like to ask me a question about this? Because I never can tell how many people are on there. It shows like one person is on here. Really? Well, that probably is Cindy then. So I'm happy to be talking to Cindy, but hopefully there are other people on there. Can anybody put in the chat if they'd like to know how in the world was this accomplished? Or more importantly, this is, 80-year-old grandma cheats fate, drops 102 pounds, and she's kept it off for 3 years. I mean, I would hope that that would intrigue some of you, that you'd be overall curious, how in the world did this happen? So who else would like to ask me a question? So again, Regina, I don't know if you're still on, but are you the Regina from R2M? Hello, Power and Power and Awe. Oh, that's a cool name. So Power and Awe, what do you think about that? An 80-year-old grandmother loses 102 pounds and she's kept it off for 3 years. This is not a diet. It's not about counting calories. And obviously there was no exercise involved, at least initially. I'd love for you to make a comment. Are you curious? How did she do it? Or let's look at some other younger women then. This woman here lost 21 pounds, 38 inches in just 30 days and was not allowed to exercise. And then Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at how much her body composition changed. That's not Photoshop. It's not photo hacked. It's the real thing. And then we look at April here. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. That's 5 pounds a week for 3 straight months. Look at her face, arm. I know people think it's a different woman. It's the same woman. And you always hear, when you get older, it's really hard to lose weight. Well, wait do you see this? He's in his mid-60s. He lost 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. His A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides 242 to 124. All right. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. All right, so let's talk about this young woman here, because this is the reason this is so powerful is she only wanted to lose 30 pounds, and she lost 21, you can see, in just a month. So Power and On, I'm going to explain it to you. First of all, it was invented by the top the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, who Power and Awe, they'd done 100 studies over 40 years, looking at every kind of diet you could imagine, and unfortunately, there was no diet ever that ever produced sustainable long-term weight loss. 2/3 of people that they studied gained back more weight than they lost, and almost everybody went back to the starting weight. Now, this is 40 years of research. And they said the fundamental flaw with every diet that you'd be on right now, Power and Awe, is it's some form of counting calories. And the problem with that is the human body has no idea what a calorie even is. So how would you expect your body to count calories? What your body cares about is the very thing these nutritionists changed. They picked foods where the only biggest criteria was how much nutrition the food had. Right? So for example, if you were going to do steak or hamburger, it would be grass-fed and what's called finished, because it's a much higher usability by the human body. I'm just giving you one example. So they put together a food list that you get the same food list for free. You take it to your grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie counts, they're giving you serving sizes. That's very important. So again, take your food budget for whatever you spent last month and take 30% of those dollars. That's about what you're going to spend to buy the food that you buy from the grocery store as you do this protocol. But it's only 30% of the food. So the other 70% of the money you're going to spend, or maybe just a little bit more, would go to these researchers that had gone around the world for 20 years to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but again, small amounts of food. Then they created a brand new way for her to eat, right? Just what you eat, you will lose weight. No, Sam, you're 1,000,000% wrong. You're terribly, terribly wrong. Let me explain to you medically. The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is it ignores the body adjusted control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while the formula can support people achieving weight loss initially, the reduction in energy intake ensures the lost weight will be regained. I have study after study, including Medicare, saying that their researchers looked at long-term studies of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether these diets are effective treatments for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of people counting calories gain back more weight than they lost. I'm sorry, with all due respect, you're 1,000,000% wrong. We've got people like Harvard Medical School saying, stop counting calories. It's not working. It's a complete and utter disaster. So if you think you're going to produce 5 pounds a week weight loss on counting calories, good luck. You'll be lucky if you average more than a pound or half a pound a week. And when they look at the 12-month studies of all these diets, and I have a summary of them here somewhere, I'll show it to you in one. Oh, well, here's a big study on calorie counting. This is from a landmark meta-analysis by Tracy Mann and colleagues published in the American Psychologist, 31 long-term studies on calorie-restricted diets, and exposed the harsh truth. The analysis concluded that calorie counting diets itself predict future weight gain. So good luck. Count those calories. Whatever you lost, you're 2/3 of people gain more weight than they lost. Abandon the calorie counting. First of all, give me the definition of a calorie. What is a calorie? Do you know? Because the human body doesn't have any clue what a calorie is. No, these researchers, they did 100 studies on calorie counting over 40 years. No diet ever worked long term, ever. So please don't tell me calorie counting works, because it doesn't. And I've got the medical proof to back it up. It's not my research. I mean, another big study, why you shouldn't count calories. Well, counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term. The approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. So these researchers said abandon calorie counting. The only thing your body cares about, it doesn't know what a damn calorie is. It only cares about nutrition. You're completely ignoring that fact. So they put together a food list that you would get to go to your grocery store: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, but only 30% of the food. See, here's what you can't buy at your grocery store. These other researchers have gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods had nothing to do with calories, huge amounts of nutrition. And then they created 2 new ways of eating. So rather than calorie counting, they had her have 5 days a week. She's having 4 meals a day. She was having these foods from around the world for breakfast, lunch from the grocery, dinner from the grocery, and a 4th meal. Nothing to do with calories, only on serving sizes. These are the top experts in the world. That's not me or you that determined this. They proved it. It's published, my God, in 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. This is for real. What you're talking about is outdated, over obsolete. Do it if you want. You'll remember this day as you gain back all your weight, because the long-term studies of diets, okay? Do you know how ineffective they are in 12 months? For example, here's a huge study in the Journal of the American Medical Association. They looked at 48 different studies, 7,286 people, and they named all the major diets: keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, Cornish, zone, all calorie-counting monstrosities. Do you know what the weight loss was? Do you know what the difference in all the diets counting calories over a year was? This is a year, 10 ounces. You know what the average weight loss was in a year on this? 16 pounds, and 25 to 40% of what everybody lost was lean muscle mass, and they all gained all their weight back. I mean, you think diets are working? From 1990 until 2025, the obesity rates in this country have doubled. Doubled. They don't work. Do you get it? They don't work. You can think whatever you want to think. It's just nonsense. There's so many, the researchers are saying things that are just like, let me find it here. The grand myth of traditional diets, a devastating cycle of failure and false promises. Traditional diets, be they low-fat, low-carb, keto, carnivore, macro counting, or the latest fad, time-restricted eating, seduce millions with vows of dramatic weight loss and radiant health. But the brutal truth etched in decades of unyielding scientific evidence shatters this illusion. These diets deliver fleeting illusions of progress, followed by inevitable gaining back of weight, negligible long-term health benefits, and the hidden toll of crucially losing lean muscle mass, slowing down the immune system, and losing up to 25 to 40% of your lean muscle mass, slowing down your metabolism and your own immune system. So go for it. Count calories. You're making yourself unhealthy. Yeah, I get really animated because it's not your fault. That's what you've been indoctrinated. It will not work. I don't give a damn what you think. It will not work. And I don't have a dog in this hunt. My goal is to make people aware. My own mother was morbidly obese. I hate diets. I saw her do every kind of gosh dang diet on the planet, counting calories. She'd lose 20, gain 25 back. Now I know it was a total hoax. It is a total hoax. We've got The projection is in 4 years, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. Do you think if any of these diets, any of you worked, that it would be that way? I mean, come on. We have got an 80-year-old woman losing 102 pounds and keeping it off for 3 years. That wasn't calorie counting. Are you trying to tell me you're going to go on a diet to average 5 pounds a week, or in this case, 60 pounds in 3 months, 5 pounds a week for 3 months? Or an older guy, you're trying to tell me counting calories, 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month? Don't tell me that, because you have no data that would support that. We don't make claims. This is what they found in the this is published in the biggest medical journals in the world. It's not my opinion. Sorry, I get so excited, everybody. Because I'm just trying to prevent that kind of a situation. No, it's not a calorie deficit. Listen, again, tell me the definition of a calorie. So let's talk about that. So don't tell me it's a calorie deficit. You don't know what you're talking about. Are you a nutritional researcher? I've done 23 years, written 4 best-selling books, appeared 20 times on PBS and 1,500 live lectures around the world at universities and hospitals. And I'm not the expert. These experts are. They proved it. It's not about calorie deficit. Nonsense. It's just nonsense. Hold on to whatever you want. Watch you lose the weight and gain it all back. And then you'll think that I was right. I am right. I'm right because we've got the MET-10. You have no medical proof backing up calories in, calories out, because all the studies on it show they're absolute abject failures. Failures. So you have whatever belief you want. You're entitled to it. Go for it. We've got real science. And the science, you can see it for free right there at the New Health Conference. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Go and look at the medical. Look at an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. That's not me, and it certainly isn't you. They said they did 100 studies over 40 years on every diet you can imagine. Calories in, calories out. It never has worked. We're not arguing you're going to lose weight initially on these stupid diets, because that's what they are. They're stupid. Your body can't even count a calorie. Why would you be counting calories? Why? Why? No, it doesn't work. It's working for millions. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight. You're trying to tell me it's working? What about a nonsensical argument? You're ignoring science. Good. Keep your opinions. They're going to help people. No, thermodynamics. Oh, God, here we go. For decades, the conventional wisdom surrounding weight loss has been dominated by a simplistic formula: eat less, move more. This advice has been framed around the idea that calories as unit of energy can be managed like a straightforward equation. Calories in, calories out. But if this is true, then why have we become fatter and fatter? At the heart of the calorie theory is the law of thermodynamics, which asserts that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. This principle applies to a closed-loop system where energy is conserved. However, the human body is not a closed-loop system. It is constantly interacting with the environment, expelling heat, sweat, releasing waste. This makes the first law in isolation an incomplete, completely wrong statement. Simply put, our body is constantly losing energy in ways that aren't captured by basic thermodynamics. This is where the second law of thermodynamics comes into play, which describes entropy, the measurement of energy that cannot be used for work. In biological systems, energy dissipation and inefficiency are constant. So don't give me this nonsense about thermodynamics. It does not apply to the human body. You're being hoodwinked. You are being hoodwinked. I love these discussions because it's really fun. Because I have science on my hand. You're giving me opinions. Show me the science. You don't have any. You don't have any. You can't show me a study ever done on calorie restriction where people were able to keep the weight off long term. Hell, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Have you ever done that? Huh? Have you? Sam? So thermodynamics, I just proved that's horse manure. And science proved me wrong. How? Because of thermodynamics? No, you're wrong on that one. Okay. What makes the program use? I'm going to leave. I can grab a paper, look at it, and as well. Yes, I have. Very proved. I proved nothing. Sam, we're going to get rid of you now because you're unfortunately you're completely misinformed, and the other problem is that you just don't have any idea what you're talking about. So bye, Sam. And so, hi, I've seen several measures to your son. He's not getting back to me. Sorry, I have to bother you. Helen, his phone was stolen in Costa Rica. So that's why you haven't heard from him. I just FedExed him a phone. He's supposed to get it on Monday. So That's why you haven't heard from him. He's completely out of communication, not his fault. It was stolen, and that's the best. If you have a question, you can always, you know how to get a hold of me. Please go ahead and do that. So I apologize. Sam, you proved nothing. See, that just shows I don't like calling people names, but we're reading from 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. He's given an opinion. He talked about thermodynamics. I completely blew the hell out of the thermodynamics because it doesn't apply to the human body. So all these people coming on, maybe he'll lose a pound a week, maybe. But I know he's not going to lose 40 pounds in a month like this elderly gentleman with no exercise. It's just so ridiculous. That's what people think. Calorie counting is dead, not just because of me. I mean, is he smarter than Harvard Medical School? Stop counting calories. We've been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories by 3,500 and you lose a pound. But as it turned out, experts are learning that this decade-old strategy is totally misguided. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out, when it comes to weight loss, is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. I mean, this is ridiculous. People want to get into arguments with me, but the problem is they're arguing with established science. The science says diets don't work. After 100 studies, 40 years, do you think that's enough evidence when they analyze almost every kind of diet out there and no one ever sustained the weight loss in 40 years? Aren't you interested in a different alternative? Oh, there's somebody else coming on. Right, calorie counting has nothing to do with the body. Care Bear, I need help. I believe you, Doc. Okay, great, Ann. Care Bear. All right, so let me explain to you what they did. Okay, so Care Bear or anybody else, how excited would you be if you could lose 20 pounds in a month with no exercise? See, they're going to go calorie count. You're going to lose like 4 pounds in a month. We know. We've got the evidence to prove it. I mean, all these diets. I've got a summary, everybody. Let me just digress for a moment here. Okay, this is an analysis of the major diets from low-fat diet, low-carb diet, keto, carnivore, macro counting, time-restricted eating. I'm just going to give you the summary. Over a 12-month period, the weight loss, now this is the total amount of weight loss in 12 months across all these diets, was a low of 11 pounds, 13 pounds, 13 pounds, 10 pounds, and 10 pounds, and 25 to 40% of all the analysis of all the studies was they were losing lean muscle mass and they all gained all their weight back. I mean, again, when people come on and they want to argue, they don't understand who they're arguing with. I don't give opinions. My opinion shouldn't matter to any of you. So to come on and get your yacker going with no, unless you can come with medical proof. Oh, I'm going to show you the medical proof. Where is it? You don't have any. It's just silly. It's just silly. And yet, look at us. But Johns Hopkins Medical School is saying that we're now talking about an obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4 years. And now we're finding Harvard Medical School stop counting calories, and study after study after study saying the calorie thing is over, it's finished, it's done. You all can actually go to my homepage on TikTok at The New Health Conversation. I've got a 4-part series with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. Let him explain to you why counting calories is dead, over. We never should have done it in the first place. And that what these researchers did, and everybody else, Care Bear. I'm a type 2 diabetic. This was invented. Oh, diabetic, look at this Care Bear. Look at him. Look at his A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4 in 30 days. Look at his triglycerides, 242 to 124. No, this was invented by a diabetic more than 25 years ago. It absolutely works for diabetic. No one had insulin spikes. Now I'm going to explain to everybody because everybody wants to know. Care Bear, if you're a type 2 diabetic, how amazing is dropping your A1C that much in 30 days with no exercise, monitored by their doctors? Do you know the other thing about this, Care Bear, and you'll get this? The need for insulin came down 41% in a month. The doctors had to cut their meds by 50%. His and everybody, the other diabetics, there were lots of diabetics in these studies. They were all monitored by their medical doctors. This is not a weight loss program. And see, that's horse manure. Someone was trying to put on me about this calories in, calories out. There's never been a study done on any diet where it removed chemicals from our body. This, first and foremost, Care Bear and Ann and everybody else, is a detox. So let's get into what did they actually do. So they said counting calories is dead. So what did they do instead? Take whatever you spent last month on food. This is a good way to think about it. take 30% of those dollars that you spent last month. You're going to go to your local grocery store, get organic proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. And these foods were picked by, these are the top weight loss researchers in the world, and nutritionists and physiologists. And they picked out foods that were based on one principle: a large amount of nutrition in a smaller quantity of food. And you get the list. You take it to your grocery store: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Not anything to do with calories, serving sizes. Got that, everybody? Now, what about the other 70% of the food? Oh, well, this is the other key. The other 70% came from these other researchers that had gone around the world, Ann and Care Bear and everybody else, to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition and small quantities of food. See, our food in North America, like following something like a ridiculous calories in, calories out, they're ignoring the fact that our food in North America is really nutritionally insufficient. That's why these researchers didn't give people 100%. They'd done that for 40 years. They'd given people organic food. It never worked because there wasn't enough nutrition, which is the only thing your body cares about. It doesn't know what a calorie is. Someone's telling me they're going to count calories. Why? The body can't count a calorie. It doesn't even know what a calorie is. So it's just so ridiculous. And that's why we're in the dilemma we are now, because we're listening to these influencers and nice people. They don't have one shred of medical evidence. They have opinions like that gentleman was telling me. Oh, it's about thermodynamics. It's about calorie counting. No, it's not. It's not a calorie deficit. How could there be a calorie deficit when the body doesn't even know what a calorie is? See, that's the problem. You've got the totally wrong approach. Your body the only thing it cares about is a nutritional deficit. Why didn't you say that? It's not a calorie deficit. What a bunch of nonsense. Your body needs a certain amount of nutrition, or your brain goes in starvation mode, which is what happens on all these diets, and turns your muscles into fuel, slowing down your metabolism and your own immune system. Does that make sense, everybody? So again, 30% of the food for the grocery store, you get a grocery list, you buy to the grocery store, you buy 70% of the food from these researchers who'd gone around the world. Then they put together a new way of eating called protein pacing. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. What did they do? So 5 days a week, she did 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods around the world for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods. And notice it's 4 meals a day. What mattered was the spacing, the timing, what you ate, when you get taught all that. We coach you for free, for crying out loud. We got coached for free, okay? But that's 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. What's the other 2 days? The other 2 days you do something. See, no diet's ever done this. These researchers did blood, stool, urine, fat, enzymes, muscle, liver, all these tests. And the one thing they proved unequivocally, and the main reason to do this, K-Bear, I'm going to tell you in just a moment, okay? Let me finish first. They found that the timing of when you were eating really made a big difference. So 2 days a week, you were doing something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, you were eating 8 times a day. The diabetics, not only didn't they have insulin spikes, but their need for insulin came down 41% in a month. People were not hungry. Hunger came down 41% in a month. But the big one was when they measured toxins through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, and K-Bear and Ann. That's the main reason to do this, is the detox. And it's not a marketing ploy. They have the medical proof. And you can all go see it at see the New Health Conversation. It's all there. There's nothing to hide. And if you go there, we won't even contact you. It's free to go there. And then you get free coaching. So to my good friend that's talking about, I don't know what I'm talking about with calorie counting. Good luck with that nonsense. Go lose your weight and gain it all back. And I mean, it's just silly. It makes me really excited, as you can probably tell. So what else did they find? In a month's time, no diet has ever produced anything like this. Inflammation came down 25% in 30 days. No diet's ever produced anything like it. It's not a diet. It's for your health. Now, someone was asking, okay, where do I find here's what you do, K-Bear and Ann and everybody. You go to Google search the New Health Conversation. You'll see, hold on in a minute. There it is, the New Health Conversation, right? There's the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. The only thing on there is the medical proof, including number 1, is an exclusive podcast with the number 1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. And he'll tell you, they, as the top experts, after 100 studies, 40 years on calorie counting, never again. They're only doing this protocol, and they don't sell anything. How do we get access to these exotic foods? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Once you go there, K-Bear, and look at the medical proof, then you can scroll down and you get a free coach. And they'll explain to you, they'll give you the grocery list that you take to the grocery store, and they'll show you how. You're not buying anything from the coaches. Please be clear on that. You're buying directly from them, and they're going to also give you what the researchers created. This is called the Blueprint for Success. And the patients in the studies, those yellows are daily videos that you get for free with the researchers explaining to you, this is what you're doing, this is why you're doing it. If you're a diabetic, this is why it's safe. The main thing they emphasize to you is this is safe, and it took them 40 years to discover this. They created it. They don't have any products. They don't have a company. They don't sell you anything. Why would they want to help you? Because they've spent 40 years. They're recognized now as discovering the secret for obesity. But they want to ensure that the general public now can have access to all this. We give you free coaching, for crying out loud, everybody. This is what we started with. This 80-year-old lady who I know, her name is Linda. But look, they were just on the cover of Women's World magazine June 9th of this year. The daughter, 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, well, now, at the magazine time, she lost like 90. Now she's down 102 pounds total. And she's kept it off for 3 years. 80 years old. Look at the transformation. Oh, we didn't Photoshop a damn thing. We don't need to do that. We have the real medical proof. People coming on and telling me it's about calorie counting. I'm sorry, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Calorie counting is completely dismantled. Good, Care Bear. So again, are you clear? You go to that website. Do you see it there? Give me a yes that you can read it. The New Health Conversation. Do you see it, Care Bear? And Care Bear, if you don't mind, how much, and used to, I want to make sure you see that you can go there and that website's completely free. Yes, okay. So Care Bear, if you don't mind, or Ann, and you don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just curious, how tall are you? How much do you weigh? And what would you like this to be able to do for you? Because obviously you can see it's a lot more than just the weight loss. It's about people regaining their lives. She couldn't walk up a flight of stairs 3 years ago. Now she's playing pickleball 2 or 3 hours a day. She swims, she walks a couple miles a day. She got her whole life back. Now she runs upstairs. Well, obviously losing the weight helped a tremendous amount. But imagine at 80 years old losing 102 pounds. Are you kidding me? And then my friend Kurt, not my friend, I don't know who he is, but an older guy. How about that, Care Bear? 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. And look, again, his A1C is what impressed you, 8.4 to 6.4. Yes. Okay, so Care Bear. This is probably more indicative of what you can expect. Sheila, that's what I would expect for you. I'm going to tell you right now, with no exercise, you're going to lose at least 20 pounds a month. Tell me how excited that would make you. How excited would be the first 4 days on this? You're probably going to lose 6 to 10 pounds. Tell me how motivated that would get you. You're pretty tall. Ann, I'm 50 pounds. I'm not a diabetic, okay? All right, very excited. I'm excited. Okay, Ann, look. So let's go to, what would be a nearer one for you, Ann? Well, she had 30 pounds to lose. So I would say, Ann, in your case, 50 pounds. I know this sounds crazy to you, Ann. So August, September. Probably 1st of October, you'll be down 50 pounds. That's if you don't exercise. Ann, how excited would you be if you could stand on the scale after 4 days? In your case, you'll lose 6 or 8 pounds in just the first 4 days. And it's 100% safe and she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise. So Ann or Care Bear, do either one of you exercise? No, Ann, by October. Ann, lose skin. Oh, okay, watch this, everyone. How about this? 200 pounds in a year. Where's the loose skin? Look at that. People are shrinking. Look at this gentleman here, Ken. 34 pounds, 20, but look at his body. Look at how much he shrank, everybody. There's no loose skin, and he had a stomach. You have to understand, this is going to change the world. It certainly is going to change your world, because all these other people are running around counting calories. Like the person that was arguing with me earlier when I got so upset, because he's propagating a complete and utter myth. It's a lie that calorie counting has ever worked long-term for weight loss. My God, from 1990 to 2025, Ann and Care Bear, the rate of obesity in this country has doubled. Do you think we have more diets in 2025 than we did in 1995? Do you see this insanity of what we're doing? These researchers cracked the code for all of you. And Care Bear, if you go to the website, you'll see people that lost 100 pounds. No loose skin. I showed you Mary. Look at her. She makes me so happy. Well, she was happy to start out with. But that's not Photoshop. No surgery. No surgery. How cool is that, everybody? Care Bear, how exciting is that? Wow, wow. You're all going, wow. And very excited. And I want you to understand, when you go to the website, and Care Bear and anybody else who wants to go there, we will not contact you. Please understand that. We don't do that. We're not harassing people. Even though I get really animated, we're still on your side. We want you to have the proof, then decide if you want to coach. We're not going to contact you. So if you go to the website, if you go to well, first you type it into Google, because you're not going to, that's the link that you can find on Google. Because this is scientific evidence. This isn't a sales site. There's nothing to buy on that website. Let me show all of you again the website. You see there the New Health Conversation, because we got new people coming on here, where you can go and actually see. You'll see what happens. It'll take you to Google. Click on the link. It'll take you directly to the website. Here's the whole website. Watch it scroll. 1 is a podcast with the #1 weight loss researcher in the world. 2 is a video explanation in more detail about what they actually did. 3, the link takes you to the medical studies. I mean, you could Google it on your own, but we made it easy for you. You got to understand we have nothing to do with what is published in these huge medical journals. The problem is that all these people around here telling me it's things like thermodynamics, it's nonsense. They don't know. It's not. It's just absolute a crock. It's a crock and not a crock pot. Anyway. Oh, thank you, Care Bear. Oh, wonderful, Ann. That's really terrific. But Ann, the most important thing is that module #1, watch that interview with that. He's the top weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. And Ann, they don't have any products. They don't sell anything. They're pure scientists. They did this. Well, it took them 40 years to figure it out. And Ann, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. And I've kept it off for 23 years. How cool is that, everybody? So who else would like to ask me a question? We got 2,400 likes. We have, a lot. That's right. And very cool, Care Bear. Okay, all of you, why wouldn't you all go to the website and see the medical proof? And we're not going to contact you if you go there. So don't think it's some trick on our part. That we are not going to sell anybody. We're not going to convince anybody. We're going to educate you. I'd love for anybody to put in the chat, again, name a diet that you think it works long term. And don't give me some vague answer like, well, calories in, calories out works, because it doesn't work. I mean, when you're talking about, let me read you a short sort of summary of what the researchers are saying about calories in and calories out. They call it CICO, calories in, calories out. The calories in, calories out model is nothing short of a colossal hoax, a simplistic, outdated myth that's been thoroughly debunked and abandoned by leading experts, including Harvard Medical School, where the physicians declared outright that counting calories is antiquated and just wrong for sustainable weight loss, urging a shift to nutrient-rich food quality over futile counting. That's the point. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. So why would you count calories? They went on to say, decades of rigorous studies expose calories in, calories out core lie. It delivers zero long-term success, with the vast majority of adherents regaining all the lost weight or more due to inevitable metabolic slowdowns, hormonal disruptions, and insatiable hunger that sabotage any prolonged deficit, rendering energy balance a biological impossibility for lasting change. Your body doesn't run on calories. Your body runs on nutrition. So think about it. When you go on a diet, what are you really doing? You're lowering the amount of food you're consuming. And what are you doing? You're lowering the amount of nutrition. When the brain figures out there's not enough nutrition, because it's nutrition that keeps you alive, not calories. See, this is why when somebody makes a ridiculous argument like that, it's like, what? What? Where did you get that information? Calorie deficit. Right away, that just shows, no. You can't be in a calorie deficit because your body has no idea. It doesn't give a damn about the calories. It cares about the nutrition. That's what these researchers proved. Now, I got a lot of new people in here, and can we get some more taps? We're at 2,400 likes. I know we can get some more. I know we can get some more. But Care Bear and Ann, I'm thrilled you're going to go and see the medical proof for yourself. And Ann and Care Bear, we're not going to convince you. And the coaches, now also I didn't even tell both Care Bear and Ann this. Maintenance, you know how simple it is? My meal every morning is these exotic foods around the world, 2 normal meals, and then every couple months I do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast, not to lose weight anymore, but to help detoxify my body. The main reason, number one reason to do this is to detoxify. And no diet counting calories has reduced a gram of a toxin leaving the human body. Never, 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 ever. Is that enough never evers for everybody? So who else would like, this is where we started, everybody. An 80-year-old grandma cheats fate. She drops 102 pounds and has kept it off for 3 years. And right there, want a free consultation? It's free. And the coaching is free. And the goal is to teach you what she learned, and that's how to keep the weight off. She's kept it off for 3 years. Actually, she's even lost more weight now. Because originally, I think she lost about 90 pounds in about a year. And she's continued, well, now she's down to 102 pounds as of like a couple days ago. How great is that? At 80 years old. Not only didn't she gain the weight back, but she lost more. And her goal is, she's crazy, in a good way. She said, I want to lose another 20 or 30 pounds. Really? She said, then she'll be back to her high school. Her daughter, and they both were featured, everybody, on the cover of Women's World magazine, June 9th of this year. The daughter, who's a nurse, lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The daughter weighs less than she did when she was in high school. And they've kept it off for 3 years, and the daughter's on here. She's a nurse. Maybe you can see it there in the comments. Cindy Detox, that's her. I didn't know she was going to come on. Now, I did coach both of them, so I do know them. Total transparency on my part. You can tell I'm very excited about this for all of you. I'm excited for Linda. Her daughter's name is Cindy in the blue dress. And my biggest challenge, our biggest challenge is it sounds too good to be true. And people want to fight with me and argue about the fact that somehow calorie counting works. It doesn't. It just, there's no support for it at all. And it just says perpetuating calories in, calories out isn't just ineffective, it's harmful, trapping millions in cycles of failure and self-blame. Expose the pseudoscience now and embrace biologically backed nutrition first strategy for true enduring health. That's what the researchers gave you. They gave you a gift. Imagine they've dismantled 100% of the sentiment out there, except for people that know about this. They're telling you to count calories. Please put it in the chat if you agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. You can disagree with me if you want, right? Anyway, a couple of internet glitches. So again, who would like to ask me a question? How about this? How about 5 pounds a week? Would you be excited with that? 21.2 pounds, 38.7 inches, and the stomach shrank with no exercise, no sit-ups, no crunches, no anything. Care Bear, I just told you, I start the day with these exotic, get serving sizes. Get serving sizes. They tell you exactly how much of each one they want you to eat, okay? And then your last meal of the day will be these exotic foods around the world. Now, remember, this is while you're doing this. This is not maintenance. I'll go to maintenance for you in a moment. Then 2 days a week, she had no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world, and they created something that they call intermittent nutritional fasting, never done before. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world, but this time you're going to eat 8 times a day. Yep, about every hour and a half. In my case, with maintenance, and why would I do that because these are considered the world's most perfect meals from a nutritional standpoint of view. These elements that you can't get at your local grocery store. It doesn't exist in North America. These nutrients come from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. I mean, unless you're on a doctor's prescription for like a calcium or an iron supplement, you don't need any. Once you start on this, you don't need any more supplements. I don't take any supplements. I just do my first meal in the morning of the world's most exotic and most perfect meals, period, end of the story. Does that make sense now, Care Bear? Who else would like to ask me a question? Oh, I see. We went to 0 people. Okay, well, that's why no one's commenting, I guess. Wow, that's just so crazy. So for any of the people out there that are, scrolling, I guess, over the internet, So, um, who else would like to ask me a question? Well, I know we have some people on here. Obviously, Cindy's still on here. I think Care Bear, you're on here. I'm not sure who else is on here. What just goes to show you is the fact that our society is so brainwashed to think somehow that calorie counting actually works when there's no evidence to ever support calorie counting ever work long term. Never. Look at her. She's kept the weight off 102 pounds and she's kept it off for 3 years and she lost it in a little bit over a year or most of it. And she continues to lose currently. I think she said she wanted to lose another 20 or 30 pounds. So who else would like to ask me a question? Are we not live? Can you all hear me? That's an interesting concept. So can anybody give me a yes if they can still hear me? I'm not sure if the computer froze up or what. That might be why we have 0 followers. Huh. Wow. Something happened. Okay, well, I'm going to close this out.